Okay, so today I'm going to share about time management, more like task management and time estimation, which is most important. Like sometimes we incorrectly uh, estimate or guesstimate the time that it takes for certain activities, and we end up either overestimating or underestimating, and that's what I'm going to target today. Okay, so this is based on a research that was done by Dr. Shannon Soldo. She is a researcher in the University of Southern California, and she got a grant from the government to do research on it, on like team productivity and everything. And so she wrote the paper which is titled "Teaching Teens a Superpower: Avoiding Procrastination, Not Schoolwork." So she researched and asked a lot of students who were in the IEP, I'm sorry, not the IEP, the AP and the IB curriculum. And she came up with her findings. Okay, so that is what this whole presentation is based on. Okay, so she specifies 3 objectives. Number 1 is to recognize, number 2 is to apply, and number 3 is to analyze results and like continuously improve and enhance upon it. Like just don't do once and be done with. Okay, iteratively keep enhancing it. Okay, so basically you recognize that time management leads to better academics and emotional outcomes. Then you apply the core time management and the task management skills. It's more like managing the tasks. Okay, and you sort of analyze the outcomes and you adjust things that are not working. If something's working, you want to apply it. So this is the 3 core things that you need to remember: recognize, apply, and analyze. Okay, so defining student success. 1 is academic success, which is the average score on AP or IB, the end of the course exams. You're going to have the final marking period exams and everything. So, that's going to help you with that. And also your mental health, which is happiness, having a high level of satisfaction, less emotional distress, and less school burnout. Got it? So this is what this whole effort is about. Okay, so this time management and task management, right? We mentioned that you're going to feel happier. There's less burnout, less stress, and less procrastination. You will feel more in control of your time. You will get better grades, of course, because of the changes that you'll be implementing. You'll be more engaged in class, and you will have time for extracurricular activities. You won't be like reacting all the time. You will be like more proactive in getting your tasks done. And school won't be such a drag anymore, okay? If you master time management and task management. Okay, so basically there are 6 elements. Number 1 is organization. Number 2 is listing out the activities. Number 3 is breaking down the tasks or chunking it. Number 4 is managing the time. Number 5 is prioritizing the tasks. And number 6 is focus. Focus or sustained attention, as we all know, is one of the executive functioning skills, which is like extremely critical to success. Okay. So the number 1 element is organizing your materials, right? So are you less organized or more organized? How is your desk? Is it the left or the right? Okay, so let's talk about it. Aditi, is your desk messy or super clean or somewhere in between?
It's messy.
Okay. Okay. So getting organized a bit, it doesn't have to be like squeaky clean like that other one. It looks like a museum. It doesn't look like it's been worked on. but there is some amount of organization that really helps your brain focus, right? So yes, it helps to like clear up your desk from time to time. Yeah. What about you, Kabir? Okay, Kabir is not here. What about you, Sagi?
More like somewhere in between.
Okay, that's good. What about you, Sid?
My desk is kind of messy.
Okay. Okay. So we want to be somewhere in between. We want to be able to find things and not like be in a state of frenzy all the time. So organizing your desk from time to time really helps with keeping on track so that you'll find things easier, right? Next is listing activities or more like organizing, right? So it is like thinking of your deadlines, picking a planner and start planning. So Aditi, do you use a written planner or you use on your phone? What is your mode of planning?
I used the calendar app on my computer.
Okay, got it. The Google Calendar. Do you sync? Do you have Canvas and you're able to sync that calendar with your personal calendar, or how does that?
Oh no, I can't. I don't know how to.
Okay. Also, there is a facility from your Canvas to sync it to your personal calendar, and it'll send you all the reminders to you. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. What about you, Sagi? What kind of organization do you have?
I have a calendar, but I don't use it that often. It's more like what I think of or if I have it written down.
Okay, got it. Got it. Yes. So I mean, keeping it in your head would never work. So always have either a written calendar or something that's like in the form of your calendar on your phone or your laptop. Okay. What about you, Sid?
Well, to be honest, it's not the most efficient way, but I just use Schoology and I kind of rely that I remember it.
Okay. So is Schoology super organized? Does it help you stay on track?
I mean, it has like its own calendar which shows your assignments, but like for my classes, I just rely on remembering it, which is sometimes not the best.
Yeah, I want you to start implementing either a written calendar or an online calendar. Can the Schoology deliverables be synced with your personal calendar?
Oh no, they can't. But like it's really easy to transfer, I think.
Yeah, because I keep getting Nived's deliverables. So I don't know why, but I keep seeing his deliverables. Like this homework is due.
This is your email.
Yeah, yeah, that's good as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, from now on, you need to start implementing either a written calendar or an online Excel spreadsheet or whatever it is to list out the activities. That's very important. Okay. Next is breaking down large tasks into manageable chunks, right? I use this a lot, chunking. Like you have an overarching chart, like a large project, right? So it's always good to break down the steps, right? And sort of assign the days you want to do it, right? That's the way to go. I mean, otherwise, if it's overwhelming, if the brain cannot process the steps that's involved, you're definitely going to get overwhelmed. And setting up realistic dates for each task also needs to be completed. For like reading tasks or reading a book, you can't really chunk it, right? You're reading a chapter, you got to finish that chapter before you move on, right? But for other things, it's always good to assign a certain amount of time or tasks to be completed on certain days, right? So that is the element three, is breaking down the large tasks into steps. Then you have homework planners. I don't give this because it's so laborious. Like, oh my God, you have to write down, you'll keep writing down everything. Who's going to help you? How long is it going to take? What is the reward? This and that. It's too cumbersome. But if anybody wants a homework tracker, I can give you this. Okay. And then there's also a daily homework planner, where you note down things like this week's homework from previous weeks, any long-term assignments that you have. All that can be documented in this as well. Okay. Then the fourth element is managing time, right? Finding the right time to do that, like identify all the available time, take advantage of some transition times, like your study halls that you may have. And also like try to assign tasks. For slightly harder tasks, it's always good to assign it at a time when you can be most productive. Like I'm most productive in the morning, like 5:30 to 8:30. So whatever difficult task I have, I schedule it at that time because I know my concentration is going to be great at that time. Right. So you can earmark, is it 6 to 7? Is it 8 to 9? Um, Something you need to have like one zone where you know that the toughest task is going to get implemented. Okay. And also estimating time for each task is very important, right? And I'm going to show you an assignment where you will work on the time estimation and everything. Okay. So this is a problem that we all encounter, right? We plan a certain time, but in reality, it's completely different, right? For example, you think that an English essay is going to take only 1 hour, but in reality, you end up spending 2 hours, right? Then you have soccer practice. Then sometimes you think that, oh, in 30 minutes, social media, I'm going to be done with social media. But sometimes you end up spending hours together on social media. I mean, I'm guilty of this as well, right? And I had to learn techniques like I read a book called Deep Work that tells you about how to focus and deeply into like sort of managing your time and concentration and everything, right? And yeah, sometimes you overestimate things and you finish them quickly, which is a good thing, right? And sometimes you plan your time to go to bed as 11 p.m. and you end up going at midnight, right? So these are some of the pitfalls with planning time and reality. Okay. Next is prioritizing, right? Prioritizing what is important for that day, right? I don't want you to always be in this important and urgent zone, which is like it becomes an emergency, right? So for final tests and studying and deliverables, I want you to sort of chunk it or spread it out so that you're not doing everything in the last minute, right? Like you cannot always live in that last minute zone with stress. Okay, that's not a good thing to be in. You should be in the important and not urgent zone, right? So that's where you're most productive, right? And you don't want it to become like an emergency, right? And this is the most critical component, which is focusing, like deep focus, right? So Dr. Solder calls it the I super plan. Okay, she says I is interruption, prevent and refuse any kind of interruption. Super, SU is success. It's like visualizing, imagine how great you'll feel when you achieve success. Got it? And procrastination, finish the task first, then fun activities, right? It's easier said than done, but it is required. Enthusiasm, enjoy the learning process, appreciate the time you have to increase your knowledge and everything. And I mean, enjoy the learning process. It should not be like a chore, right? It's a line item for me. This extracurricular is a line item for me, or this core is something like that. Like have some kind of enthusiasm and interest, right? And rewards, like check your progress and reward yourself regularly for a job well done, right? So these are the 6 elements of it. And what are some of the consequences of procrastination? Of course, it's going to cause you more stress, lower life satisfaction, sometimes even more absences in the class, less use of time and task management, and negative attitude towards school. You start hating school, right? So resistance is like the number one impediment when it comes to schoolwork, right? So overcome resistance, right? So basically, what are the action plans? Like, basically, I'm going to give you some strategies for that in the upcoming class, and you can apply them to sort of measure your time, right? Some repeated tasks that you do, you measure the time, the actual time versus reality, and then you adjust the time. So then mentally, what happens is you train your brain into sort of figuring out how much time a task will take, and you go from there. So some of the tips and tools that you have that I'm going to give you here is identify your procrastination downfalls. Like find out what is your pet peeve, right? Is it Netflix? Is it Instagram? Is it Snapchat? Is it what is your sort of fixation, right? Or do you get caught up in your group chats? So identifying that helps as well. And while studying, like I mentioned, like concentrated studies, like remove temptations from the workspace, like turn your phone off or put it into like airplane mode, or like just throw it in the charging station, but make sure that you have distraction-free studying for an hour. Got it? And get into the mood for productivity, right? Put on some motivating music, clean up your desk, take a few deep breaths before you start doing your homework, so that there's enough air supply in your body, you're calm, you're composed, and you can concentrate better. And also sometimes you just have to tell yourself to start. That's it, you're going to start. I mean, this is what happens with me when I have to go to the gym. I'll find like 10,000 excuses in my head. Oh my God, do I really have to go? Can I go tomorrow? Do I really need to go? Oh, I have a meeting, I have a deliverable, right? But I just wear my shoes and I just take off and I go and I feel better, right? Sometimes you just got to do it. It should be routine. And you've got to practice again and again your time management skills, right? Until you get perfect.